Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am JayLee. This is JLeesCorner, and this is the girl gossip chat. Who said that? Tamar said it on Tamron Hall show. Let's chit chat about what she said. Okay, but first things first, if you have not done so already, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel to become a whole JayBird, JayBird. Dun, 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 and all that goodness and stuff, or whatever, okay? Do not forget to always breathe it on out, to always remember to inhale and to exhale, and to relax and to relate and to release and to center yourself and anyone around you. You can also follow me on IG and on Twitter at J_Lees_Corner. All of that is also in the description box below. You can also like this video, comment in the comment section, and also hit that little share button to share it on your social media. Honey, let's chat. So Tamar was on Tamron Hall's show today. You know, she told us last week she'll be on there today, chit-chatting about stuff. I feel different ways about the whole thing, but let's go over some of the things that Tamar said and how I feel about that and whatnot. So, in my opinion, you know, Tamar, and I have notes, so you know I'm looking over. You know, Tamar spent the whole interview, in my opinion, saying how the network made her want to take her life, how, you know, those are the ones who caused her issues or whatever. Now, she did admit that, yes, because we really haven't heard her admit that she did it. But she does admit that she did indeed try to take herself out. And I'm using words so that my video don't get flagged, so don't think I'm trying to be insensitive with it. You know, we can't say certain stuff on YouTube. So she did admit that she tried to take herself out, and, you know, she would not say how she did it. You know, she brought up how she did not want to give anybody any insight on how to do it themselves and everything. And I think that's perfectly fine. She also brings up how she had never before acted on wanting to do it, and she had not tried to do it again since that day. Now, she brings up how she had been unhappy for years at WeTV doing this show. By the show, I'm assuming she meant Braxton Family Values, Tamar and Vince, Get Your Life, and whatever other shows she's been on WeTV. She brings up how they would leverage more time and more shows for the network in order for her to do other things that she wanted to do. She brings up how they would suggest, do this and we'll give you that. She brings up that was, you know, their way of doing things. Now, she said she wanted to do a show about a positive show about her life, about her on the road doing music, and her life after the Vince events. She wanted to do this positive show, but WeTV wanted this negative show of Get Your Life. I feel like Get Your Life could have been very positive had you been positive while doing it. If you were so unhappy with WeTV, do you not think that some of that unhappiness is what, or the reason why you were such a unhappy, uncooperative person on the show? And it's weird because we heard Tamar out her own mouth on the Get Your Life episode for episode 1 say how she wanted to do this, how she went to them and said, I want to do this, and they allowed her to do this to show her life, how it is now, since she divorced Vince, a single mom of her own, trying to do music. So it's weird for me to say she wanted to do a positive show about this and that. Now I'm like, this Get Your Life was supposed to be that. It turned into a negative thing because of you and David. People who are not happy usually isn't a happy person to be around. So I feel like whatever negativity she had in her spirit, based on whatever she said WeTV did, that all came out on Get Your Life. But don't make it seem as if Get Your Life was this show that WeTV created and they wrote you to be a negative person. You then had to act it out. You cannot blame them for the action that you do. No one is saying that WeTV doesn't add a thing. No one is saying that WeTV is innocent in this. What my point is, you could have made Get Your Life a positive show with a bit of drama here and there, but everything that you seem to bring was either negative or nothing. Now, she also brings up how, because Tamron was asking questions throughout, Tamron asked, like, well, what kind of got you to the point of, wanting to take yourself out? And Tamar brings up, oh, I wrote a letter to the network. And, about me not wanting to be there anymore because it's toxic or whatever, it's negativity, and it's a negative vibe in reality TV. And no one negates that as a fact. Reality TV can be very negative. However, it's all in how you act on camera. Because if you don't give them any negative actions, then they won't film you. And my thing is, if you don't want to show negativity because that's not what you're about, then don't give negative scenes. Don't do foolish things. If your show gets canceled because you don't want to be negative, then your show gets canceled because you want to do positive things. So I feel like Tamar blaming other people or other situations based on her own actions to have a popular show, we can't ignore that. You know what I'm saying? And reality TV can only show us what you give them. And if what you're giving them is what sells, then who's at fault? The show for wanting it or you for doing it? Now, she brings up how, I told them if I continue working like this, that I want to die, She said their response was that she was being dramatic. In my opinion, she was. Because, Tamar issues are not with WeTV. Tamar's issue is Tamar. It's Tamar. But Tamar needs someone to blame, so she don't have to look in the mirror and figure out who's the one doing the fucking up. And it's Tamar doing the fucking up. And again, if WeTV wants you to be a negative, rude, spiteful, mean, ghetto, loud, abrasive, bratty person, is it their fault for wanting it, or is it your fault for giving it to them? If you gave them that for all those seasons on Practice Family Values, if you gave them that on Tamar events, and you then came on Get Your Life and gave them that too, who is the one at fault? Because when you let other people's issues affect you, you can become a negative entity. And Tamar became a negative entity because she wanted the attention. Because you cannot let people make you be some kind of way. You be that way when you blame them for continuing to pay you to be that way. To stop getting paid to be that way and walk away and do something different. She brings up how, the suicide note. So the whole note that Tamar sent to the people. So this is what she sent them initially before the whole attempt. Okay. This is a piece of what they showed on the show today. I'm sure it's not the whole full thing. But that nice, happy, talented, and funny black family was not good enough for you. As with the cruel white slave masters who once chained our forefathers and oppressive police forces that now terrorize our communities, you needed to play into the stereotype of the dysfunctional black family. So you preyed on our fears, you heightened our insecurities, and you turned us against each other. Well, I hope those ratings were worth it because you succeeded in destroying a great black family. She also said, through all this, it breaks my heart that with all we've lost, my family and I still get paid 16 times less than our white cohorts, many of whom we outrank with ratings. And through it all, we black females continue to work under slave-like conditions with contracts that are choking us to death. And with your constant threats and aggression, you always remind us of the food chain in America, where white men are on the very top and women of color are at the very bottom. So maybe there's a reason why you didn't ask me my opinion, because you really didn't want to know, girl. You didn't want to hear what I said. What makes me cry desperately inside, however, is the fact that you won't leave me alone. I've been broken, I've been beaten, I've been raped, and I have been abused repeatedly as a child and as an adult. But of all these experiences, this is the most traumatic. The fact that I feel like I'm a slave to you. I feel like I can't breathe, like you suffocate me, like I need some oxygen. I feel like I can't breathe and you are slowly killing me. And then lastly, the part that they also showed was this part. I can't remember, but the day you drove that final stake into my heart of my family and separate as so ashamed. Wait. The final stake into my heart of my family and separate as I don't know what I mean, as so ashamed to talk about that I hid it even from my own mom. The fact that I have been assaulted and raped repeatedly from age 6 to 16, sometimes multiple times a day. You dug up that secret and exposed it on your show in front of my entire family and 100 crew members. You broke me that day, and I considered ending my own life then for the shame I felt. I was so powerless and hurt. I had to dig deep inside of me with every ounce of courage I had to tell Wendy Williams and 10 million viewers on national television a secret I was not ready to tell, but had to tell it before you exploited my story to the world and left another black viewer broken and suicidal like me. Like a true slave master, you had taken away everything in my right to choose. Now, with that whole thing, I felt like it's weird to me that Tamar said this is what she sent to the network, and they told her that she was being dramatic. What she sent was her right to feel that way. However, what I feel is the reason of them saying you were being dramatic, if she wrote that long, drawn-out explanation as why they a fucked up ass network, I'm sure her lawyers had to send that. Why didn't anyone on Tamar's team say, hey, Tamar is out here threatening to kill herself. We need to get her some help. Versus Tamar sending that to the network saying, hey, don't air this show or I'm going to kill myself. But no one on her side said, you know what? Fuck this show. Let's get her some help. That's my issue with what she did. You coherently wrote a thesis paper to your slave masters and threatened to take yourself out, but no one on your team who printed it out or hit send or who you had to let them know what you sent, no one tried to help you. No one. It's weird to me that she wants to blame the network as the ones who were not looking out for her. Where was where was David? All the people who be on your show, where is anyone on your lawyer? So no one in your realm of support thought, hey, we should get her some help because she's threatening to do this. So it's weird to me that who she's blaming. Okay, gonna leave that be. Now Tamron then brings up, I was publicly fired from a job. I was publicly humiliated and everything I'm saying. But what was it about this network situation that led you to try to kill yourself? Like, what was it? Was it the Tamar said, I already felt choked. I had felt I couldn't be myself. I felt that I was being misunderstood and being looked at as the same angry black woman all the time. And let's get into that. I don't think anyone has ever looked at Tamar as an angry black woman. I think Tamar has always been looked at as a bratty, attention-seeking person. I don't see Tamar as an angry black woman. I don't. I see Tamar as someone who likes attention and she's extra. But I don't see her as an angry black woman. Because my thing is, angry black women is always out here fussing, cussing about something. Tamar is a brat. Tamar has a bad attitude. Tamar likes attention. That's what I see her at. She brings up how, after she told the network that she wanted to die and everything, how the following day they sent her a call sheet. Come to work, Tamar, because you're being extra. You're not going to kill yourself and everything. She then brings up how she also received a breach of contract letter the day before she tried to kill herself, and that it was saying that she would not be paid and she could not work anywhere else doing whatever she was doing. Meaning, if you can't work for us, if you can't do this, that, or the other, then you can't work for anybody else either, because you're that out of it. Okay, and the contract says you will work with us exclusively for this time. So if you're in breach of contract, okay, so we're gonna put everything on hold. Okay, now Tamron, like, what do you think they thought? You know what I'm saying, that you said you was gonna take yourself out? There was a stunt. You know what I'm saying, that you just didn't want to do the show, but still wanted to get paid. Well, that would make me a thief. That's ridiculous. I'm like, no, it's not. It isn't at all, because again, if someone's sit and write me out a whole suicide letter, and no one in their own camp, like no one says, Tamar said she's gonna kill herself, right? And no one budge. If no one budge, then they're used to your antics. And I'm not saying it's right. But Tamar needs to stop blaming other people, the network, for her own issues. Tamar ignores her own issues. Okay. Now, from that part of it, I'm saying, it's like, oh no, I saw the dramatic. She getting dramatic. Okay. It was a lot of dry tears. Okay. A lot of but no, like, she didn't cry not one time. She was crying voices, but she didn't cry not. I've never seen a person who has gone through the emotional and physical and mental abuse that she's saying that she went through, and she ain't got no tears. I always say I am weirded out by people who make a crying noise but can't produce no tears. It makes me feel as if they're trying to get sympathy. And Tamar, this whole episode, she made me feel like she wanted people to accept her part of her truth, and she wanted empathy for her version of her reality, of what she thinks the issues are, and not saying that anybody else knows her more than she knows herself. But anyone who has seen Tamar cannot escape the truth of the matter of she needs to sit down somewhere and stop doing interviews, stop trying to be on television, stop trying to force people to believe your narrative. That will not help you heal, mama, at the all and whatnot. Okay, now Tamron say, well, what was the show doing to you? Okay. I had no self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? It was hard to look at myself. I did not want to be this example of being a black woman and a mother. Okay. Again, the no tear crying and whatnot. I never wanted to be, on the Braxton family values, fighting with my family. Always having this turmoil or whatever. And now it's about fights, arguing, assaults happening, threats happening. Now, we all know that David spilled the beans that supposedly, allegedly, Tracy put her hands on Tamar at Trina's wedding. Now, we won't see that until the season starts or whatnot, but I feel like her saying this part of, now it's about fights, arguing, assaults happening. It's her confirming something happened or whatnot. I'm saying, it's like, I created Black Family Values, to show a positive family who were black, amazing, great people or whatever, but all we show is, devilish ways. And, I'm like, okay, she admits that she also played a part in it all. I'm saying, I knew I had to keep the ratings up. I knew that there was a price coming with it, to embarrass your siblings, embarrass your friends. And at times, I did not know what I was doing. And that's my point. She's talking as if she did not play any role in this. And even saying, well, I know I kind of did this. No, Tamar, you actively participated in it all the way up to Get Your Life. And even with Get Your Life, you still was being difficult. And I keep saying, if they were such a horrible production and TV station, why did you keep letting them give you shows? If you know how fucked up they are. That's what's kind of crazy. So, Tammy then bring up the whole abuse thing on Ayanna. We went to Ayanna for help, for counseling or whatever, for the division the show created within my family. Okay, the show created us to the point of not getting along and not communicating. Again, she's blaming the show of all this. Okay, she brings up, instead of us going there and getting help and getting counseling, I was humiliated and it was a nightmare. Okay, I don't know who told production, whatever, but I have never told anyone in my family about the abuse I suffered. It haunts me that I was portrayed just so people could tune into and laugh at me and judge me and criticize me and make me feel less than what I already feel less than. And that's a horrible place to feel. But the fact that you feel that's what they did says more about you than them. Because I think Tamar went to Ayanna and she wasn't really ready to heal. She wasn't really there to deal with anything. Anyone going to counseling for whatever issues, a lot of stuff comes up. And Tamar don't want to face her painful past, her painful truths. And when bits and pieces of that come out and it chips away at her, she wants to point the finger at everyone versus dealing with that pain. And all I want her to do is deal with that pain. I've told her before, I have suffered from domestic violence. I was molested as a child. I was raped as a teenager. It's all about what you want to deal with and what you want to overcome. And how you do that is by addressing it. When you say that you're there to get help. Don't say you're there to get help if you're really only there to talk about a little bit of stuff for the show. And Tamar was there for the show because she was upset at a true moment needing to be healed. And do I think Ayanna should have brought it up on camera? No. I think Ayanna should have separately talked to Tamar. Absolutely. Tamar, no one deserves their secret to come out without their knowledge. I 100% agree with that. However, once it came out, how she handled it is what made things be led astray. And ever since then, she still hasn't properly even addressed or dealt with it. I feel like she keeps using it as a dart to throw at people to say, I was, assaulted when I was a kid. And they talked about it. Dart thrown. You know what I'm saying? Which makes her feel as if I'm saying this, no one can address me about it. Even though it still hurts me. And it still makes me hurt other people. Tamar out here hurting other people because she's still hurt. She plays the victim because she still wants to be a victim. She don't want to be helped. She doesn't. She wants to be okay enough to be on TV to make money. And as long as she can hold in whatever hurt she has in her, but still function, she don't care. But when that hurtness get built up, and it blows up in her face, then I'm a victim. Because all these things have happened to me and no one wants to fix it. Girl. Anyway, she then brings up how after that moment, that was the first time that she felt like she didn't want to live anymore, and her bond with the family and the network from that moment changed. Okay, fine. Now, she admits that she's been diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and that, but she is not on any medications, but she goes to counseling daily. You need it. You clearly need it, but I also feel like, who advised you that this was the time to do an interview? Leave it be. Now, they get on David a little bit of whatever about him and what he did. Look, Tamar continually defends David in her own way. She's like, we were never in any kind of physical, we were never in a domestic disputed, domestic violence, situation. You know what I'm saying? She's making it seem as if nothing happened despite him getting a PPO against her. And she also brings up how, you know what I'm saying, she voice recorded whatever happened in the car. That David had his recorder, his camera's going on his car, and that he has the footage. So if he's saying that she hit him, he should release the footage. Now, David came out, and report his reps came out and said Tamar is aware that because she destroyed his cameras in the car, that the footage she had, was not able to be pulled up. She then responded on Twitter saying what he said in his report, to the police, that the footage was backed up. What the thing said was, typically the footage with the camera is backed up on whatever server, and he's trying to recover that footage. However, if in the middle of them fussing, if she pulled it out and messed up the connection, it may not have had time to transfer over to whatever cloud and whatnot. We're gonna leave that be. Anyway, but again, I love David. He was my best friend. He was an amazing partner. He was my son's best friend. You know what I'm saying? And it's so hard because I never expected this from him. But I wonder if he was acting this way because he failed me. I'm like, if he failed you, why would he accuse you of abuse? I was confused. And Tamar, and allegedly the text that she was sending to Jason Lee, she said that he hit her, which made her hit him. But for her now to say that it was never any kind of incident, I'm looking like, which one is true, Tamar? I'm just confused. Anyway, Tamron also asked, like, well, do you have, any time after this that you plan on going back to reality TV? Well, I'm done with this type of TV. I don't want to do reality TV anymore, but I'm going to do other things with, TV stuff. Okay, fine. She asked her they can fix things with her family. Well, I talk to my mom every day. You know what I'm saying? I do love my sisters. I know they love me. So for that, I'm okay with that for right now. Meaning, I don't want to talk to them. I loved them before. And she has every right to not want to fix things with them right now. She does admit that she wants it to be forgiveness on both sides. She knows that she's done things wrong and that they've done things wrong too, and they all need to be on a forgiving circle of love with each other. I'm like, okay, fine. And then they announced her podcast called Under Construction. I'm like, a podcast, Tamar? A podcast? In conclusion, Tamar is a person who has suffered a lot in her life. Some of that is her own fault. And until she can literally stop pointing fingers at other people and other situations as to why she is how she is, she's always been an active participant in the bullshit in her life. And I really want her to go sit down somewhere and chill out. Like, how are you trying to heal, but you also trying to do a weekly podcast talking about your healing? How are you already healed? Like, you're not even healed yet, sis. You not. You have had too many years of turmoil in your life to be healed enough to be on a podcast weekly talking about it. But again, Tamar wants to be in the news. She say in one breath, I want to heal privately, but then opens a podcast to talk about her healing publicly. That is why I always say Tamar wants attention. She wants to be in the spotlight in her own way. She wants to be able to control the narrative of even when she's in a fucked up situation, and that's on her. And we can love her and hate her at the same time. I love Tamar as an artist. I think she could be an amazing human being if she cuts the bullshit out and get real with herself. And until then, she would constantly have something that falls by the wayside and makes her unhappy. Because every couple years, every couple months, it's something that goes wrong with Tamar's life. Because Tamar refuses to acknowledge the fact that she is the common denominator. Okay, and that's all I have to say about that. That was a long ass chit chat. Anyway, I'm done. Peace.